Hey guys, welcome back. This is AppThunder.net bringing you another Clash of Clans commentary. Now before I begin, I want to point out that we do have our Facebook page up and running, and if you could give us a like, we'd highly appreciate that. The link is going to be in the description, so please check that out, and thanks a lot in advance. Now, you guys asked, or I read your comments in the previous video that I posted about the low upkeep troop method, and I got a lot of suggestions to post a higher level raid using the same method just to see how it pans out. And I decided to attack a relatively high level raid or high level base, and just to show you guys what it looks like using this method. And if you guys don't know what this method is, please check out my previous videos. Basically, it explains that we're using barbarians instead of giants because they cost less in terms of elixir and they take less time to build. So before we begin, I want to point out that I am trying to save up some, I think it's 12,500 dark elixir for the barbarian king, and I'm about 700 elixir short. So at the time of filming this, I was actually going for dark elixir. So you guys will see that I'm actually targeting this base mainly for the dark elixir, but I decided to record it and show you guys that this very raiding method is actually really effective against any form of base, regardless of what level it is. Now you guys can see that he has 3 mortars and 3 wizard towers all maxed. During this time of filming, the 4th wizard tower was actually just released, so he's actually still building that. But I imagine it would have been maxed had he had more time. And you'll see that he has about 200k of each resource and 1,000 dark elixir. So mainly I was going for the dark elixir, but just to show you guys how effective this method is, I'm actually gonna go for as much resources as I can. And he does have a clan castle and a archer queen in the back, as you can see. And I am hovering around 1,500 resources, and as I pointed out in the previous videos, I want to stay between 1,400 and 1,500, so I'm actually not going to attack this town hall, even though it's just exposed by itself. I could easily send 4 archers there and gain 1 star at least. So right off the bat, I'm probably going to focus on these two buildings because they're glumped up and they're actually going to do a lot of damage to my units if I don't take them out immediately. And I'm actually going to use the lightning spells, and my lightning spells cost about 20k each gold, so we're going to have to factor that into how much we gain and how much we spend when we actually calculate how much loot we actually gain at the end. So let's begin. So as you can see, his clan castle is fairly tucked into the center, so it'll be difficult to draw out his troops. So at this point, you should use your lightning spells to just target off any real threat to your units that you can't take out easily. So these 2 mortars near the bottom, they're a bit easier to, I mean, they're a little spread out and they're a little exposed, so we can easily take those out. It's the ones in the middle that I'm worried about. So luckily I was able to take out all 3 mortars, or sorry, I was able to take out the mortar and the wizard tower with all 3 lightning attacks, and now I can begin deploying my troops. This barbarian was just used to see if I could draw out any clan castle troops, which I wasn't able to. Now when you are deploying this method, you want to spread out your barbarians. Notice that each building only has 3 or 4 barbarians being targeted, and as you move closer, your barbarians are going to clump up. And that's just something you can't just, there's nothing you can do about that. So just keep in mind that when you send more, make sure you're not overlapping previous barbarians and clumping them up. Now you do want to send in your wall breakers when your other units are basically being targeted. So don't send in your wall breakers when your opponent has nothing else to fire at. And I am working on a dark elixir now, and I sent in my barbarian king mainly because I ran out of barbarians, and you need something to tank some damage. And we're about to make it into his main base, or where all of his loot is, once these wall breakers make it, and there you go, they've broken through his inner defense. And now we can send in our goblins in small clumps You don't want to send them all at once because he still has wizard towers, and those can be a real threat to your goblins if they do clump up. Now it looks like we gained back at least 160,000 gold thus far, and that definitely covers the cost of the lightning attacks. Now let's see how much elixir we can actually pull out of this. Now my archer queen is roughly dead, and it looks like I have no more goblins, so I got about 55,000 elixir, or actually 65,000 elixir, and 167,000 gold, and also 1,000 dark elixir. So I'd say this was a fairly successful raid, mainly because my troops aren't even maxed out. My archers are only level 5, and my barbarians are only level 5 when they could be level 6, and even my wall breakers are level 4 when they could be level 5. So overall, my troops aren't maxed. I don't even have all my army camps maxed. They're not even level 7. So this army composition actually did fairly well in terms of how maxed out his base is compared to how maxed out my army is. So this just goes to show that this raiding technique definitely works, especially if my army was maxed out. I'm sure I could have done a lot more damage using this method and perhaps taken all of his elixir. So the cost of my troops was roughly 55,000. Thanks for correcting me earlier, for those of you that caught on to my mistake. In my previous video I may have said that the troop cost is around 30,000. My correction is that it's around 55 to 60,000. So the cost of the elixir was covered, and also the 3 lightning attacks roughly cost about 60,000 as well. So we gained about 100,000 gold and 1,000 dark elixir using this raid. Now normally I wouldn't actually attack into this kind of base or even follow through with the attack, mainly because it's so strong. But just to show you guys and prove the point that this raiding technique really works, I decided to follow through and see how it works out. And turns out this raiding technique is really solid, and I highly recommend it. That's why I back this up, and I suggest you guys give it a try. If you don't like it, stick to what you're doing, and if you do like it, well, that's great. Alright, so if you guys have any comments, any suggestions, please post it in the comment section below. If you like this video or if it helped you, please give it a like, please subscribe, and don't forget to like the Facebook page. I'd really appreciate that. And if you have any other questions, just leave a comment, and I'd be happy to read it and get back to you. This is AppThunder.net signing out. Thanks for watching.